Hello everybody, I'm the HappyCabbie. Now, a couple of days ago, this was on March the 29th, the Arizona Senate passed a law, which they've been trying to get this law passed for the longest time, but you know, the Democratic governor we had, Napolitano, she kept vetoing this bill. You know, of course, now she's Homeland Security Director. We got a Republican governor in there now, so now we can have common sense laws finally passed. The law that they are wanting to pass and been trying to pass for the longest time is to make the carrying of concealed weapons legal without certification. Now, before you guys get all upset about this, let me explain to you something. In America, we have something that is called the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment says we have the right to keep and bear arms. There's nothing in there that says we have the right to keep and bear arms if we pass a certification course. No. If you guys believe that we need to pass a for example, do I need to take a certification course to learn to speak, which is, of course, my First Amendment right? I have the right to speak. I have the right to say anything that I want. I don't need a certification to speak. I don't need a certification to exercise my Second Amendment rights. I have the right to take my gun anywhere I want to. Now, this requirement to pass a certification for a concealed weapons permit is an unfair tax that is levied against the poor. Now, of course, the wealthy, the 1% in the country, they, of course, can afford, these classes, but they don't even need the classes because they have private security guards who work for them, who keep them protected. So therefore, the rest of the world doesn't wake up and rise up and, rightfully take what's theirs. But the poor, who often are the victims of violent crimes, have an unfair advantage because the government is telling them, it's like, well, if you feel the need to protect yourself, you need to pass this course, and yes, there's going to be a fee to pass this course. My ability to use a gun is not dependent on the government's permission. And if you disagree with that, I don't know what in the world you're smoking, but you need to get off of it. In America, we have the Second Amendment. And the idea that the government is going to say, well, before you can exercise your Second Amendment rights, we need to know that you can pass our particular little standards. And these little classes that they set up, they go through all the standards. It's like, well, you can't do this, you can't do that. There is nothing in the Second Amendment that tells people that they have to pass a certification course in order to possess and hold a gun to defend themselves. Let me give you an example. Say I'm walking down the street, going to the grocery store, post office, or whatever it is, and I see some guy, trying, hey, you got a cigarette that I can smoke? And I say, well, no, I don't smoke, and I walk on about my business. Well, he doesn't take too kindly to that, so he picks up a rock and says that he's going to throw that rock at me. That is a threat against my life. I have the right to defend myself, okay? And if somebody's going to take lethal action against me by picking up a rock and throwing it at me, and yes, people have died by having rocks thrown at them, okay? It's all in the Bible, okay? It's called people being stoned to death. I need to be able to take my gun and say, back off, or I'm going to blow your head off. That's all there is to it. I have the right to protect not only myself, I have the right to protect whatever family I have the right to protect my property. I don't need my government's permission. I don't need to pass any kind of training or anything. And that's all I have to say. And if you're still watching this, happy April Fools.